All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again. Today, we're taking a first look at none other than the Big Fry Media's new game, new demo, Transience. Now, if you're not familiar with Big Fry, he is a YouTube content creator, probably most well known for his critical takes on early access, early release games, asset flip games, essentially games that come out touting that they are new, something worth spending money on, and in all honesty, they're usually trash. If you are familiar with Big Fry's community and his channel, then you are familiar with this demo, more than likely. So I played for about an hour, enough time to get, a few good runs through the demo in. Now, all this demo is one small sort of warehouse style training mission, if you will, where you are walking through what they are calling the kill house, and you are just shooting AI enemies in a really tight corridor setting. Now, I'm going to go through a small list that I've compiled of what I like about the game, the potential that I see in the game, and a couple of things that I think could be improved upon. Now, I'm going to start first with the things that I really like about the game. As you all probably know as well, if you follow the gaming community, really at all, or Dr. Disrespect, even Shroud, I think maybe Courage is doing something similar. I don't know. A lot of content creators are starting to step into the space of creating games, creating projects. Whether they end up fully fleshed out or not remains to be seen. But it seems to be more of a trend that's becoming popular, which I'm okay with to a degree. I think we need something to help push the gaming industry forward, at least in the competitive shooter space. It's difficult to have only one or two games that you can play for 5, 6, 7 years, because there's nothing else coming out that's really doing anything to ignite a new spark in that area of gaming. That being said, one of the first videos, if not 2 or 3 videos that I ever uploaded on this channel in its infancy, which it still is in, was a playthrough of Snapshot 4, maybe 5, of Dr. Disrespect and Midnight Society's Dead Drop. Now, I like the idea of Dead Drop. I enjoyed my playthrough of it. There are some things about it that obviously need a lot of work. They need to be fully fleshed out, and I'm choosing my words carefully, simply because that particular project has a lot of backing behind it, a lot of standing behind it, a lot of money behind it. The potential for that game to become something fun, well optimized, that pushes the Battle Royale experience forward, which for all intent and purpose is the most popular competitive shooter genre right now. It's high. The potential is high. Now, when I first saw this game, it actually did surprise me a little bit. The atmosphere, the way that the gunplay looked, the shooting, the combat, it looked, well, pretty good. For a team of people that's probably 5 to 10, I don't know, it could be more, it's impressive. There have been games that have come along that have done really well in the indie space. I know Ready or Not was big, I think. Dark Zero or 0 Hour or something like that. But nothing that's really maintained any sort of edge as far as grabbing and holding attention. Now, to dive in to this game, I see a lot of potential with this game. I've watched Big Fry's content for a long time. I like the way that Big Fry approaches content, games. And this game has potential. What I like about the game right off is the atmosphere. The atmosphere, the mood, the music, it's all very fitting for a more gritty, tactical, hardcore experience. In contrast with the development of a game like Dead Drop, it's very sci-fi-esque, which there's nothing wrong with. But in terms of a modern battle royale shooter, even though I don't believe that's what this game is going to be, this is what I had in mind. Dead Drop seems to be taking on more of a futuristic sci-fi style. This game seems to be more grounded and rooted in reality. There are a few elements to the game that are, near future. Your character has a visor, a futuristic suit, things like that, but it doesn't push beyond into the realm of sci-fi. The aggression of the AI in the game was something that I noticed pretty quickly as well. As you're walking around through this kill house, you'll hear a lot of voice lines start to cue in. And to touch on a con really quick, I think it's a little too much as far as the voice lines go, how quickly they're triggered. But I think that probably has more to do with the proximity of the AI in the map rather than it actually being programmed to trigger that quickly or in succession that often. The map is just small, the AI are stacked right on top of each other. So that's a small, very minimal thing that would probably be alleviated by having a larger area to play in. Now back to the aggression of the AI. I actually really enjoyed it. It reminded me of Tarkov, where the AI hear you, they actively seek you out, they lean around corners. Now, they're not the smartest AI in the world. They definitely don't play like other people will play, but they don't also just stand there like complete dummies either. They'll lean around corners, they'll run up on you, they'll walk slowly. So I enjoyed the aggression of the AI. I enjoyed how the AI reacted to hearing you, that they sought you out, that they didn't just come running through the doorway, like a complete idiot, that they played like a half-decent, intelligent AI system should. Now, the weapons. I like the weapons. The weapons feel good. They sound good. I think the nuance that they have implemented into the game, where you hear the gun rattling, you hear your accessories sort of rattling on your body, a lot like, again, Tarkov does, is nice. It's a nice little feature, just reminding you that you're a physical being in this world that's holding things that move, that make sound. I like the weapons. I think the weapons feel good. The combat is pretty straightforward, feels nice, nothing too crazy. I will say, though, again, to touch back on a con, I think the suppression effect is a little too much. I think it's a little too high. I noticed when I was shooting, and again, this could be because of the map, it's very tight, it's dark. The screen got really dark the more that I shot the gun. On the other side of the coin, when enemies were shooting at me, the suppression effect was the same whether or not I was behind a wall or standing right in front of the enemy. So I think the suppression effect definitely needs to be tweaked in the game. I understand the suppression effect when you're in a gunfight. I'm totally fine with that. I think it needs to be dialed back a little. But the suppression effect behind a wall, that's kind of, I think the suppression effect when you're standing behind a wall is way too high. It's way too high. It's almost as if you're directly getting hit by the bullets. It's a little confusing, makes it kind of hard to tell what's going on. But overall, I think the guns, the mechanics, and the gunplay are in a solid state. So I don't have too much to say about that. Now, I noticed online during a lot of the digging into the reviews on the Steam page, a lot of people were complaining about the speed, the movement speed. And the only thing that I have to say about the movement speed, in all honesty, is that the walking speed is way too slow. It's way too slow. I'm not a huge fan of walking in games anyway. I guess maybe that's ADD. But the walking speed to me is way, way, way too slow. It needs to be a lot quicker in relation to walking. Now, the sprint speed, I didn't have an issue at all with the sprint speed. I thought the balance between the weight of the character and the sprinting with a gun in your hand was fine. I know a lot of people said it was way too heavy, too slow, needs to be faster, needs to be faster. I think that's just the Call of Duty Apex world we live in now, where everything is 1,000 miles an hour and there's 50 million different things going on at one time. I did not have a problem with the speed. The walking speed, way too slow. Way too slow. I can understand walking being slower. I can understand the crouching speed being slower, but it's way too slow. That's my opinion. Other than that, I thought the speed of the character, the weight of the character felt good. I didn't have an issue with that at all. The only other technical con that I could point out is that when you switch between toggle sprint and hold to sprint, I would prefer that it be on toggle, but I don't like the fact that on toggle your character stays in sprint until you toggle it back off. And what I mean by that is when you're in toggle sprint, what I'm used to is pressing sprint to start sprinting, and then when I stop sprinting, my character defaults back to his normal speed. Well, here, when you toggle on sprint and start sprinting, when you stop moving, your character is still in sprint mode. And a lot of the times I found myself tapping sprint again, expecting to be in a walking state. And what I ended up doing was putting myself into a walking state because the sprint mode was still active. So I was spamming the sprint key, going between walk and run, trying to figure out which one I was on because it stays in the state that you put it on. Which I guess in some sort of logical way makes sense. It's just not how I'm used to most games reacting. When I toggle sprint on, I expect it to go off when I stop moving, not to stay in sprint mode and then have to put my character back into walk mode. That's again a minor thing that wouldn't really take that long to get used to. I switched it back over to hold simply to avoid that issue. So nothing crazy. All in all, I think the game has a lot of potential. Again, if you follow Big Fry's channel, you know he's very passionate about tactical shooters, about pacing, taking your time, a gritty sort of hardcore real world experience type of game. He plays a lot of games, reviews a lot of games, but that's his bread and butter. And I think this game actually has a lot of potential. I'm going to go ahead and just come out and say it. And in all honesty, I'm far more excited to see where this game goes than Dead Drop. I like Dead Drop. I like the pacing. I like the fluidity. I don't like the style of the game. I hope that gets fleshed out and more grounded in a truer sort of real world. I know they're going for a sci-fi blend. I'm cool with that. Right now, though, I'm not a big fan of the style of the game. Not a huge fan of the weapons of the game. This game, I like it. I think it has a lot of potential. I'm excited to see what Big Fry and the people he's working with do. You're talking about a team of people that's vastly smaller, a budget that's vastly smaller, and they're implementing their vision and their passion for something that they hope and believe will be fun to play. And I hope and believe it will too. The problem with indie games, and this isn't just in relation to this game, but the problem with indie games, and the reason why most of them don't succeed for very long, is that they have a really hard time retaining attention and competing with AAA titles for a lot of reasons, money, resources, all that, publishing, in such a way that keeps people there. I think this game could stand after they've implemented their tight-knit, close-quarters, slow, tactical version of the game. I think this game could benefit from expanding a little bit. I can already tell that this is going to be a really tight game. and I mean environmentally. There probably are going to be a lot of really close quarters combat situations, very slow. I think after a little while, the environments could expand. The areas you play in could expand. The modes that are introduced into the game could expand. This is all just ongoing live service type content discussion that I'm sure every one of them know and will have to talk about at some point. But overall, I think this game has a lot of potential. I think it looks fun. I think what Big Fry is doing is so far, it's solid. It's on point. I've watched a lot of gameplay. Again, I could be getting the names wrong on games like Ready or Not, 0 Hour. I could be missing one or two, but they were slower paced tactical games like this, SWAT style games, where you're going in with a team and you're clearing out rooms, hostages, whatever. It's it looks good, it looks okay, it's very played out. Rainbow Six Siege has been doing it for 10-15 years, so there's nothing wrong with a new take on that type of game. But again, will it remain engaging? Will it continue to hold attention? Will it deliver solid performance, solid optimization, solid gameplay? We're not looking as gamers in the competitive shooter space for theatrics anymore. We've got theatrics. We've got big, beautiful trailers, tons of money being thrown into the game. We're looking for solid, optimized, foundational gaming. And if this game can deliver that as well as delivering its vision, then I think it would be a lot of fun to play. I'm going to wrap it up there. I don't really have a lot to say about the game right now in terms of cons. I've listed those here in this video. I think the game overall, as far as the demo is concerned, is in a solid, playable state. There's a lot of work that could be done to it. I know they're working hard on it. I don't see them releasing this game anytime soon. They shouldn't. I think it has a lot of potential, and I hope Big Fry and the team that he's working with are able to capitalize on that. If you want to check out the demo for yourself, it's available on the Steam store. Transience is the name of the game. You can wishlist it. They've got a community page over there. There's a Discord link if you want to jump into the discussion of what you think about the game. I'll probably be doing the same, posting my thoughts on what I like about it and what I don't. The game is very straightforward right now. There's a few weapons to choose from. You're only going to be going through this one level. There's only about 5, 6, 7 AI enemies to kill, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, after about an hour, which is what I spent in the demo, you're going to have a pretty good gist of what the game is. Go check it out, though. I highly recommend it if you are a fan of tactical shooters. It's got a lot of potential. I'm excited to see where it goes. I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you made it all the way to the end, appreciate you, and we will see you on the next one.